boys and girls, welcome back to another session of Nehemiah's story. We learned previously in our second session about Nehemiah going to Jerusalem, Nehemiah speaking to Israelites, mobilizing them, encouraging them to rebuild their wall. Teacher Ibra, can you continue with the story?
The story about Nehemiah?
Yes.
So far, we've had two stories.
Yes.
The first story was about Nehemiah far away from Jerusalem in a place called Shushan. And he heard about the Jews, how they were living in, they were being laughed at.
Yeah, they are being mocked.
Yes, guys were laughing at them. Why?
Because they are weak, they were poor.
And they did not have a wall.
Yes, yes.
Their wall was broken down and destroyed. And it hurt Nehemiah so much, so that he prayed to God, and God gave him a dream in his heart. Do you have dreams?
Yes, in my heart.
Yes. To do certain things?
Yes.
Okay, Nehemiah's dream was to build the city walls of Jerusalem. What is your dream?
It's a secret.
It's a secret. Okay, you will tell us later.
I will.
So Nehemiah's dream was to rebuild the city walls of Jerusalem. And so he talked to the king, but he was afraid.
Yes.
But he encouraged himself and prayed to God for the king to give him permission to go to Jerusalem to rebuild the walls. And the king gave him permission. And he also gave him other things.
Yes.
Like a lot of wood.
A lot of wood?
From the king's forest. He said, I will write you a letter, and you will carry that letter, and you will go to the king's forest, give it to the guy who is in charge of the king's forest, and he will give you all the wood that you will need.
Yes.
What would they be using the wood to do?
To build the doors of Jerusalem's wall.
Yes, the big gates of the city.
Yes,
And to build certain things like ladders.
Ladders,
so that they are able to climb to the top of the high walls they would build.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so he got all those things, and most important, permission to build
the wall.
The walls. And so he went, and he got into Jerusalem. But when he got to Jerusalem, he made it a secret. He did not want to tell anyone what he had come to Jerusalem to do. And he looked around at night when it was completely dark. And he saw that the city walls were completely damaged, destroyed. Zilikuwa zimeharibika zote. And he was so hurt. And he said, this is terrible. We need to do something about it. And so he talked to the guys in Jerusalem. He called many guys from wherever they used to live. And have you ever talked to many people?
Yes.
Yes. How does it feel?
You are scared?
You're scared?
Yes.
Yes. So last Sunday we learned that we need to be bold, just like Nehemiah.
Yes.
He called people. He did not know them because he was a stranger.
To them.
And he talked to them and told them, let us do this good work.
Yes.
And he encouraged them because they were discouraged. And they finally thought, yes, this is a good idea. We should get up and rebuild the walls. And even our memory verse says about that rebuilding. Sindio?
Yes.
What did the people say?
Yes. They responded, let's start rebuilding. And they got ready to start the work.
And they got ready to start the work. And then they got up. This time they were energized, because Nehemiah had encouraged them. And they were asking Nehemiah, what should we do so that we can be able to complete the wall? Where can I help? And so Nehemiah had to come up with a plan. He had to come up with a what?
A plan.
And Nehemiah had a very good plan. He decided, this is what we are going to do. Because the city wall is going to be so big, we are going to split it. We are going to do what?
To split it.
To split it, to divide it into sections. And then he divided it into many sections. And he said, one family will build here, and another family will build there. And the other family will build there. And everybody got work.
So, Teacher Ibra, There were many, many Israelites
There
around.
were many Israelites. Nehemiah had encouraged them. That goes to show that just one person who has courage can encourage many people to do something great. And so they got to work. Everybody was working so hard. They got wheelbarrows and they brought them. They brought stones, cement, water, you know, people, spades.
Yes.
What else do we need to work?
Rakes. Yes.
They were very happy. They had never been this busy in Jerusalem before. They were so happy to be busy and doing such a great work. And just when they were so excited to do the work, you know, the first day Nehemiah came into Jerusalem, there were people who were never happy with him. Walikuwa wanaulizana, sasa huyu ni nani amekuja kusaidia Israelites? Why is he coming to help the Israelites? And we don't like the Israelites. We are the enemies of the Israelites. And so they were unhappy with Nehemiah. And they came to see them doing the work. And they started to laugh at them. And they started to say, nini nimesikia mnafanya? You think you can build a wall? You think building a wall is easy? You think building a wall is easy? You will not be able to build a wall. I don't think you can be able to build a wall. And so they laughed at Nehemiah. They
Mocked him.
In fact, they said, you do not have enough strength to build a wall. Even if a fox came and climbed on top of your wall, it would run on it and the wall will come falling down.
But how weak was that wall?
No, they said the Israelites cannot be able to build a wall.
Oh.
Yeah, ati wao wanafanya kazi ovyo ovyo.
Ni kujichocha tu.
Hawawezi kazi. But Nehemiah told the people, do not be discouraged. Don't listen to your enemies, but encourage yourself, because God is with you. And with God on your side, you will be able to do the work. And so, even though they were mocked, they started to build. And they were excited. So they built and built and built until the wall were coming up very fast. Very fast. And when they were halfway building the walls, Akina Nehemiah said, the enemies of the Jews.
Yes.
They were led by somebody called Sanballat, and another person called Tobiah, and another person called Geshem. So these guys came, Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem, and said, last time we tried to discourage these people, but they had so much courage, and they continued to rebuild the wall. Hey, they are actually going to rebuild this wall. So we must do something that will stop them from doing the work. And so, when they saw that Nehemiah was actually building the wall, they said, we will have a plan. We will attack them. Attack
Them.
with a big army. So they went to plan. They said, we will attack them when they are very tired. See, they are lifting a lot of rocks.
Yes.
They will be tired to attack up afternoon. When they are tired and hungry and feeling like they are going to sleep, that is when we will attack them, when they are not ready. And so they planned. And some of the people who were around those enemies, they heard them planning. And they came to tell Nehemiah what they had heard. And they said to Nehemiah, we have heard Sanballat, Tobiah, and Geshem are planning to come and attack you, fight you, and cause the work to stop. And so Nehemiah said, we cannot allow this. But the other people were scared. They were feeling, why did we even start the work? They were scared. They wanted to run away. But Nehemiah said, kwani nyinyi mnakaaji? Remember God. Yes. Remember the Lord who is great and powerful. And encourage yourself. And stand and fight for your brothers, your sisters, your houses, and everything that you have. And they got spears and swords and stood firm and courage.
Bazooka.
Bazooka? Hawakuwa na bazooka. Walikuwa na bazooka? Hawakuwa na bazooka. They got
machine gun?
spears and swords, and they were ready. Can
Why
you
not
imagine?
machine guns?
They did not have machine guns. They
okay.
had spears and swords.
And screws.
Yes. And courage. And they waited for the enemies to start to attack. And then the enemies, when they were far, they saw that, akina Nehemiah have known our plan. We expected that tutawapata kama wako ready. But now, we are going to have a fight. And we are not ready for a fight. So they ran away. And they did not even have to fight akina Nehemiah. And they were happy. But they said, juu hao watu wamepanga kufanya hivyo, we must be ready for them next time. So Nehemiah did this. He said, half the people will build the walls, wataendelea kubuild wall, and the other half will stand guard with swords and spears, just in case the enemies come back. And so they build. Half the people were standing guard, and the others were building the walls. And even those who were building the walls had swords that they had around their waist, just in case they were called upon to fight. Yes. And so they were not going to let the work stop without a fight. And so they built and built the walls. And that is the end of our story for today. But next time, we will see if the walls got finished and if they got to hang the city gates. Sindio?
Yes.
Yes. Did you enjoy the story?
Yes, I did. And I learned something, yes.
You learned something?
Yes, about
tell
resilience.
Us what you learned.
I learned that we should never, ever give up.
We should never, ever give up.
Yes. Even if the situation seems tough, even if people are mocking us, even if we seem weak, we should never, ever give up. We should stay strong in the Lord.
Yes.
You hear, boys and girls? Stay strong in the Lord.
Yes.
God bless you.
God bless.
Our memory verse comes from the book of Nehemiah chapter 2 verse 18. And it says, they responded,
let's start rebuilding.
And they got ready to start the work. Bye.